Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah and you're watching So Beauty Stuff. So, a bit of a random one today and kind of an unpackaging, unboxing. What I'm going to talk to you today about is some makeup brushes. So if you've watched my channel or you've read my blog, you might know I'm a little bit obsessed with makeup brushes. I like trying all different kinds, all different brands, finding out, you know, what's good, what's not good, what's worth the money. But I often see these sort of really affordable brush sets being sold on a variety of different websites. And I've often wondered, are they any good? So recently I was contacted by a company or a website called GearBest.com. GearBest is kind of one of those all-round sort of websites. They sell a little bit of everything. They've got beauty, they've got electronics, they've got all kinds of things. And they asked me if they could send me some beauty products for me to review. So I instantly thought, great, I'm gonna choose some brushes. I don't know about you, sometimes I think if those brushes are actually any good, that's such a good buy. So hopefully I'm going to myth bust some of that today, see if they are any good, see what the quality's like, see what they're like for the price, because these brushes are ridiculously affordable. The first set is a 12-piece goat hair eye makeup brush set. Now I don't know about you, but when I look at these, I think of the Zoeva Rose Golden set, which I have, which I will be comparing. This set, by the way, is $6.14 from GearBest, so do bear in mind that while they are not perfect and they do not match exactly with the Zoeva set, we're talking about a very, very affordable dupe if you're looking for some affordable brushes. So I think these would be the comparable brushes. This is from the Zoeva, the concealer brush. This is obviously a bit more of a tapered, sort of pointed brush, and this is a more rounded, dense brush. But I would say they are the comparable brushes in the set. Zoeva has an almost matte sort of peachy handle, whereas this has got a bit more of a shiny finish. I just noticed then that this ferrule is a little loose, so obviously the quality is not the same, and also we've got some bristles here that are sort of poking up. So I mean the quality is not identical, which is good, because otherwise I'd regret buying these Zoeva brushes. And you can see from the brush handles, the Zoeva brush is the same thing. It's all the way down. These ones go to a point. And this feels like a wooden handle. This is a plasticky handle, so you haven't got as much weight. So those are the physical differences between the sort of stars of the brushes. They've got the similar kind of rose gold ferrule with the two indentations. Obviously these are just a little less pinched than the Zoeva. So that I would say is the comparable brush. Next, slanted angled brush. As you can see, the Zoeva one is a little shorter. No problems with this ferrule coming off. I can actually see a little bit of the glue. I mean, these aren't really comparable, but they're, I suppose, the most similar. It's called a spot liner. This unbranded version, the ends of the bristles are quite splayed out, so you wouldn't get a very defined line with that, whereas obviously this is very precise. These two, so this is the Luxe Brow Light. It's almost a little bit pointy, but that being said, you'd get a really nice defined line. So I mean, it's kind of hard to compare some of these from Zoeva. Like, these three are all very, very similar. So I will find three very similar brushes in the Zoeva, in the non-Zoeva set. Luxe Soft Definer. Okay, these aren't feeling too different, if I'm completely honest. Luxe Soft Crease from Zoeva. Obviously they're not identical in size, but they are comparable. Luxe Crease. Again, obviously this one's more dense, but feeling of the bristles wise, there's not an awful lot of difference there. From Zoeva, the Luxe Petite Crease. So we're not getting exact dupes brush for brush, but we are getting a like for like in terms of size and range of brushes. The Luxe Pencil. I can feel that this is a little bit more rough, and just through the naked eye I can see that the bristles are sort of varying in length, which obviously just takes a little bit away from that smoothness. But like I said, much of a likeness, you've got a pencil brush there. Luxe Classic Shader, very similar in size. I don't know if you can see the unbranded one. We are getting a lot of shedding. Out of all of them, this one is incredibly soft. That does not seem a normal amount of bristles to be able to pinch out of your brush, and I'm not pulling these. If I do the same to this, I'm not getting a single hair come out. This is not a very good match, but we have two angled brushes. So this is the contour shader look, the only similarity here is that it's contoured. Finally, number 12 of 12, a Luxe Precise shader, and then we have this brush here from the unbranded kit. Again, this is the opposite of Precise. The bristles are splayed out, but this could do in a corner. So overall, the fact that these brushes, this set of brushes is $6, pretty good. And if you're into just having brushes that have a similar look and you've really liked the style of these brushes, like I said, they're not identical. The color is similar. The style is very similar. You've got a very similar sort of range-wise of brushes. For the price, I think they're good. Obviously, I don't think the performance is going to be up to the standard of Zoeva. The second set I have is called the 8-piece Makeup Tool Powder Foundation Brush Set. And so I've got 4 larger sort of kabuki style and 4 smaller. And these that made me think of the Sigma. You've got the Sigma kabukis, and then you've got the sort of mini versions of the big ones. So this is $8.07. So let's get these open. This brush, the flat top, obviously instantly reminds me of flat top kabuki. Much less dense. The bristles as well, where these are so densely packed, you don't get a lot of movement, whereas on this, you know, it's a bit more floppy. However, that being said, these bristles are all the same length and it's incredibly soft. So the quality is not the same by any stretch, but you could definitely use this. Which again, I'm actually relieved about that, because if these were as good as these, I'd be like, wow, I threw my money away on this. But I would be interested to see how well these blend. And I'm going to take just a dot of foundation on each finger, and I'm going to put them on my arm, and I'm going to compare how they blend. This is my all-time favorite foundation blending brush. This is the Sigma F80. So I'm going to do this one first. And so just like that, that's kind of blended in. Let's make sure we don't give ourselves edges. And then I'm going to try this brush. I'm not getting quite the same precision with this because we're getting a bit more movement in the bristles. I would also go as far as to say that maybe the coverage just isn't quite as smooth and seamless. But overall, it's much of a muchness. You're still able to blend it in the foundation. The foundation looks nice. It doesn't look cakey. You're not getting streaks through it, which I know can be a big problem when you have cheapy makeup brushes sometimes. If you're looking to expand your brush range, or you want to try some out before you maybe invest in a more expensive one, I think this is a really great way of doing it. We've then got sort of the similar one, but with an angle. It's literally a slight angle. It feels exactly the same. If anything, the bristles are less straight cut, so you don't get quite the same smoothness on the angled one. We've then got a rounded one and a tapered one. And obviously the tapered one, this is my XO Beauty tapered face brush. It's that kind of style, very different. Again, less dense and a little bit more of a synthetic feel, but very soft. And these styles of brushes I really like personally for blending under eye makeup. And then the last 4 brushes are kind of like a mini version. So I'll start with this one because this reminds me of the Sigma Precision Tapered. Obviously, again, it's a little bit smaller. It's not as soft. Then you've got the flat and the angled version brushes again. These are pretty soft. I like these. And finally, we've got this kind of random one. It's just like a long, soft brush. This would be good for blending or for applying if you have concealer that you want to apply really evenly to the skin. Something like that would work really well. And the third set, if I'm quite honest, it's very different to anything I own. I just thought they looked really cool. These are 5-piece wasted facial makeup brush set. I know that's a really strange name. If I can think of anything they remind me of, maybe a little bit like a Real Techniques, these point brushes. They came in sort of this package and then they've all individually wrapped. So I've just opened up the first one. It reminds me shape-wise a little bit of the Sigma Large Angled Contour. White bristles, similar sort of shape, obviously not as dense. But I've got to say it is really soft. So they're calling this the round rounded bottom brush. This set for all 5 brushes is $10, whether that be New Zealand or US. I will have all of this information linked down below in my description bar because I'm not sure. It does stand up on its bottom. So let's see what these other brushes are like. So you've got this one. Again, this is super soft. The only brush I have that's even remotely comparable is this, what's it called, Face Definer brush from XO Beauty. As you can see, it's much, much shorter, but it's kind of a similar sort of width. So, okay, now then we've got this bit more of a contoured brush here. It's got this kind of cool shape to it. This is called a tongue blush brush. That's actually really nice. This actually really reminds me of, okay, excuse me because this is very, very dirty, but this is the small face brush from XO Beauty. That's really, really comparable. Personally, I think you can tell these feel slightly more synthetic, but I am actually really, really surprised at how soft they are. Normally with really cheap brushes, they feel really prickly, and these don't. I mean, you can just, when I'm saying they're more synthetic, what I mean by that is these bristle hairs have the properties of hair in the sense that they sort of bend, and these feel synthetic in the sense that they bounce right back. They've got a bit more spring to them. They are really soft. This XO Beauty one is a lot more dense. Obviously, I'd say this is still a better quality brush, but in a pinch, this would do the same job. So this is kind of like a smaller version of this brush. Very soft. I'm actually not at all disappointed with these brushes. So I will say the handles, you know, they feel inexpensive, I suppose. They don't have that weight to them. But the bristles are really what is the most important part to a brush, and they feel really, really soft. These two brushes are really unusual, and I don't think you'd get an awful lot of use out of them every day. They seem to be for quite specialist kind of look. But these brushes, I feel like I'm going to get good use out of these. Like, these are definitely my favorite set. Just with the overall, all of them are really nice quality. They all feel really nice. I think these are the nicest bristles out of all of them. Definitely the absolute softest. But overall, yeah, I think these are really good value for money for what you're getting. I mean, if there's a trusted makeup brush brand with a really good reputation, it's worth investing the extra money. If you're not sure and you want to just get some more brushes, I'm pleasantly surprised by how not rubbish these brushes are. Of course, I can notice a difference with my high-end brushes, but I would be really disappointed if I didn't. So thank you for sticking with me while I go through these brushes. I hope that they have provided you with some insight into what you can. I will link all of these brush sets down below. And I'll also link to my blog post. There is also a discount code below. It's not an affiliate link, nothing like that. It's just a discount code that GearBest have offered for my followers, so I will put that in my description box, the little thing below the video as well for you to have a look at. So I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any more of my videos. So hopefully I will see you in my next one. Bye!